Is this freshman class actually any good? Duke, overrated. Florida repeating as national champions. We got some hot takes, bold predictions for this year. Let's party. Welcome to another episode of the No Ceilings Podcast. I'm Tyler Metcalf, joined as always by Tyler Rucker. Rucker, how we doing?
Good day, basketball fans. Metcalf, I'm doing great now that we're back with the No Ceilings family, having a heck of a day, heck of a life, getting ready for a heck of a year. How are we doing, sir?
Ecstatic. Michigan has a quarterback. NFL is starting in a few hours. As of recording this, obviously, we'll have known. Unfortunately, the Packers somehow got the best defensive player in the league because, of course, they fall ass backwards into that kind of stuff. But you know what? Plenty of time to complain about that later. No, I'm good. We're obviously in the doldrums of the basketball season. Have you been paid millions and millions and millions of dollars recently to not do anything, though?
No, I'm really jealous of Kawhi,
Yeah, I haven't gotten one of those deals either yet.
Was that a story that just it seemed like the more you kept reading it, let's just talk about it. The more you kept reading it, it was just like, there's no way. There's no way this is true. And then you're like, okay, wow, it probably is true. And then it was one of those where we were talking about it with the No Ceilings team, and I was texting people around the league about it, and everyone was just like, this is incredible. But it just seemed like one of those things where you're like, was this something where it's just like someone finally got caught? Because it feels like it happens all the time, probably.
You got to imagine that this is not the first case of it, but also at the same time, they left the paper bag in the church pew, and it's like, oh, I forgot that I even brought that here. Who that could be anyone's. And it feels like there are way too many smart and successful people to be involved in this for that to be the case, but not a good look. It's not a good look.
My favorite thing is everyone trying to talk about punishments, and I was like, well, the Clippers are so bad at drafting. Let's just give them more first round picks. Then they have to figure it out. But hey, what, they're gonna give Ballmer a fine if they do anything, and then Ballmer's gonna be like, okay, here's monopoly money, you're welcome. But I don't know what you do, because the Joe Smith, it's like the Joe Smith thing back in the day, right?
Where which was they had Glenn Taylor got suspended. They lost 5 first round picks and a fine of some sort, but 5 first round picks,
which was oh my gosh,
a lot.
They're basically just you have to do the Paul George trade again. But it's crazy, Metcalf. I mean,
I'm fascinated to see what comes of it.
It's my favorite story ever because it just brought NBA fans back from the dead to be like, let's talk about it. Let's have some fun. This is nuts. And
I think it single-handedly brought Zach Lowe back from Croatia. He's.
I'm always jealous when I hear Lowe's in Croatia. I was like, yeah, I went there once, and I was like, this is the greatest place in the world.
It's on the bucket list.
Oh, it's so awesome.
But
just beautiful weather, beautiful water, and everything's great.
Yeah. Well, aside from that, we got college basketball draft stuff to talk about. A little bit of housekeeping. Keep an eye out on our socials for a really fun partnership that we got coming up with a very prominent college basketball group. Good people doing good stuff. We're excited for it. Should be a really fun year over there as well. Again, changes nothing here. I've had some more film school videos go up over on the YouTube channel with Nate Ament, AJ DeBonsa, Cam Boozer, Michael Brown, Darren Peterson. Got a whole bunch more coming. Going to start looking at some breakout candidates soon over at NoCeilingsNBA.com. New Man on Campus series continue. Just put up Nate Ament on Thursday. Maxwell's No Stone Unturned series continues to be a lot of fun. Elijah Freeman looking fun, and then I'll have some breakout guys coming over there as well too. But whole team, it's basketball's been slow, but we're still churning out really fun content. And speaking of fun content, today we're doing bold predictions, hot takes, Some of these we may not totally agree with, but we're, shooting our shot, having a little bit of fun. It's beginning of September. Rucker, I'm going to be selfish on this one, and I,
Yeah,
I,
go first, please.
I
Please
want,
go first.
I want my first one, my first bold prediction is that there will be more returners selected in the top 10 this year than freshmen.
I'm running through my list because I had something about returners. Okay, so I put a number. Let's start with this. If everyone's gonna like put this on bulletin board, it's September 4th when we're recording this. If you're gonna bulletin board half, I will just snap because we're trying to think of stuff right now. And I was like, gosh, this is really hard in the offseason. I had 4 returners in the lottery was my hot take. So I like where your head's at. Go ahead.
So I think there are 4 freshmen at this point who are locked to be top 10. And that's Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer, AJ DeBonsa, Michael Brown. If any of those 4 do not go top 10, I will be floored. I would say Nate Ament is probably in that group as well. So we're at 5. And at first glance, it's like that's not that hot of a take. But I'm going to run you through some numbers.
Yeah.
The last time that there were more returners selected in the first round than freshmen was 2013.
Wow.
And only 3 freshmen were taken in the top 10: Anthony Bennett, Nerlens Noel, and Ben McLemore. In 2025, 9 of the 10 were freshmen. 24, 9 of 10. 23, 10 of 10. 22, 6 of 10. 8 of 10, 8 of 10, 6 of 10, 9 of 10, 10 of 10, 7 of 10, 8 of 10, 7 of 10. It's almost always just all freshmen, whether they're guaranteed stars, whether they look super promising or whether they're projects. NBA teams have always been just like, screw it, let's take the 18-year-old and we'll figure it out. And if we don't, we'll be right back here next year doing the exact same thing. This year, though, I think there's for me personally, I think there's a major drop off after those top 4 guys with this freshman class. There are guys who I think could have awesome years and easily emerge into that conversation, like Nate Ament, Koa Pete, Tunde Yesufu. There are a lot of guys of that ilk, but I think there's also a very realistic chance where they struggle and they don't impress like we hope they do. And with the NIL era, I think there's more talent in college basketball now than ever, especially when you look at some of these returners and guys who could really skyrocket, like a Paul McNeil, Isaiah Evans, Bennett Sturts, Jaden Quaintance, Carter Knox, LeBaron Philon, Thomas Houck, Yaxel Lendeberg. Like, that's just scratching the surface of some of the returners coming back. So my first bold prediction is that there will be more returners selected in the first or in the top 10 than freshmen.
I don't think this is bold. I'm so pumped that you started off with this because now I'm locked in. I'm ready to roll. I'm so passionate about this. I can't believe you brought it up. You're reading my mind. I'm getting caught up on my prep for next year. I'm getting my database going, and I feel like I either texted you or the guys, and I was like, I have a rude awakening right now of there is a very big drop after a point right now. And it is more towards, there's a drop of uncertainty towards the incoming freshmen. And it's not that they're not talented, but it's like you get to guys like Chris Sinak, guys like that, where I'm like, I don't know if I'm convinced you're a one and done yet. You're very talented. You might just be a 2-year college guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of those guys where I'm like, I'm not convinced you're a one and done. I have kept thinking this NIL stuff was eventually going to catch up and we were going to be getting an upperclassman rush of guys that are like, hey, they went back for their sophomore year. They went back for their junior year, that they're going to climb in the draft because teams are going to be more intrigued with them. Guys like LeBaron Philon, Bennett Sturts going to Iowa, Yaxel going to Michigan. Like, I think all those guys could, even if they're older, Yaxel's a senior, Sturts senior, even though they're older, they're going up in competition. If they produce again at a high level, teams are going to be like, they're more NBA ready now. So I have a weird feeling like this could be a draft in which we start to see a real push of some upperclassmen. Blake Harper going to Creighton is a guy I love. Like, there's a lot of names that could go up there. Now, a draft history fanatic like myself, you also, Metcalf just brought up a great point. NBA teams always seem to go back towards the upside swings potential freshmen. but that wasn't when we had this foundation with the NIL of guys that go back to get better as a prospect. I literally spoke to a scout last week and I was like, hey, am I crazy to say there's a drop off with the freshman? And he's like, yes. He like cut me off. He's like, yes, there's a drop off. There's some uncertainty. He said, we were so hyped months ago about this class. Now everyone's calming down a little bit after you get past the top four. And
Because we've
we're
had
like,
time to catch up and dive
yep,
into the film
right.
and see some of the warts. Because
Yep.
it's like we're, once college basketball tips off, that first month, we're going to ignore all the faults and we're
Right.
going to look
Right.
at the good and be like, oh my God, I am over the moon about this guy. And then over the next couple months, we'll dive in a little more to the areas of improvement and what they're lacking. It's like, oh, this isn't quite as exciting. You get past that honeymoon period and it's like, oh, okay, there's quite a bit that needs to be improved here. And again, a lot of basketball left to be played. Not saying any of these freshmen won't just ball out, have awesome seasons. Like it won't be totally shocking at all if Tunde and Ament and Koa Pete just dominate and they're like, yeah, we have a pretty solid top eight. Not it'll be split in different areas, but it wouldn't be shocking. However, right now, as of September 4th, I think it's way more of an uncertainty.
I agree. And for everyone like recent drafts, remember Keegan Murray, we were talking like late first round at the beginning of the year, or early second round, ends up going top 5. Jaden Ivey's rise, and his was a little bit more of like we were hoping it was going to happen
Yeah.
because of his freshman year end, and we were like, hey, he could look like a guy that really goes nuts. But there's always guys that come out of nowhere and we're not even ready for it, but they just have that huge leap. There's also freshmen that come out of nowhere. Bub Carrington came out of nowhere and we were like, oh my gosh, this guy's a legit prospect. I just think from looking and trying to blueprint this, like that's what we're always doing. In No Ceilings, everyone has their different path. Every scout has their different path. You get all the puzzle pieces out and you try to put it together. And right now I'm putting it together and I'm like, we got a question pretty early about like who, like I've joked with you. I was like, I have no idea who to put at 5 that I feel good about.
Yeah.
Like I am
Like there are a bunch of guys in that 10 to 15 range that I'm like,
yes.
oh man, if I could get these guys here, whew. But
yeah, there's like 7 of those guys where I'm like, I'd love to get them here. And I'm like, but
top 5's a different beast.
You get after that top 4 and you're really like, I don't know here. So it's gonna be an interesting year. I like that. That's a great hot take because I don't even think it's a hot take. I think it's just don't be patient. I think this year with a lot of freshmen that are hyped up,
Yeah, it's a bold prediction.
Yeah,
because if it hasn't happened for 12 years, or I guess 13, but by draft time, seems a little bold. But all right, what's your first one?
I don't even know if this is that bold, but you really set the tone early. I put down, and maybe I need to like workshop this with you. I put down only 1 international player is drafted in the first round.
Okay, I don't hate that.
Now, for everyone listening and being like, no way. Well, let Tyler Rucker take you to school real quick. I've watched him. It's not a good year. I've asked around and people said it is not a good international class. This is a very stateside heavy draft, which I'm sorry to our friends overseas, foreign relations. I love you guys. I love that this year is going to be a very heavy stateside because 1, I don't have to be up at like 2 a.m. watching international games, but it just also like there's some names to keep an eye on overseas. But I think the main one is Kareem Lopez. Playing in New Zealand with the NZ Breakers, correct?
Yeah.
I think that's the main one to keep an eye on. But after that, there's some prospects that I have really serious questions about. I like Sergio De La Rea, who was kind of a guy that might have been a party crasher last year. He's going back. I still have questions. Let's wait and see if he really could take another step forward. But Dash Daniels, I'm just not there. I think he's trending in the wrong direction. So wait and see mode. But I the common thing I've got asking around is this is a very weak international class. we could always get surprises. The same thing we just said in the last part about like, hey, Bo Carrington came out. There could always be those guys. It's just the asking around. It seems like there's some options that are like, hey, they might be more of next year. I feel like I've talked to our international guy Ignacio too, and he said this has been known as going to be a weaker generation class, one of the weaker ones we've seen in recent memory.
And just to be clear, you're not counting the international players who have come over and are playing college basketball.
No, because
because
they're now
that
in the
is the
States.
big change with the NIL stuff. And I think this is the first year where we're really, really seeing that in bulk, where guys
Yes.
like Dame Sar are coming over to Duke, and Nico Avdilas coming over and playing for Virginia Tech. Those are guys who I would say are probably expected, or at least preseason first rounders. Obviously, a lot of basketball to be played for everyone, but even just those two guys would significantly shift the the temperature of this international class. And I mean, there are even some others. I'm blanking on their name, but the guy headed to
Matthew
North
Mayer.
Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina.
Matthew Mayer going
yes.
to Purdue. Blanking on his name, so apologies.
Steinbeck.
But sorry,
who's the big man going to Washington from Germany?
Oh, Hans Steinbeck. Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys. It's just they're all stateside now.
Bogovic going to North Carolina.
Yes.
Sorry, that's what I was trying to think of. Mental fart. But yeah, and like I'm looking at my board right now, and it's like, all right, I got Kareem Lopez in the first round, and then I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling. It's like, oh boy. And that's probably Dash Daniels, but I think there are a lot of questions with him. Obviously, a lot of basketball to be played, but it's not looking great right now.
Mega's got a wing I've watched. I'll butcher it because it's the off season. Serentic, I probably said it completely wrong. So for my Serbia family overseas, I'm sorry, but they got a wing. I watched him a little bit, and I'm like, it's not a guy that I'm going, oh my gosh, first rounder, even like early. So I
And
just
even
think
a guy like Johan Grunlow came over.
yeah, like that's one that I was excited about. Now we had Michael Ruzic last year got hurt, shoulder injury to start the year. Was like I was like, oh man, that's there it goes. That's ship sailing. Maybe he comes back into the conversation, but it's just you really get dry, and it is because now guys are coming over to the stateside. So everyone's gonna look and be like, well, they're all playing stateside. Yes, that is correct. So I'm just saying now they're all showcased in front of us. They're trying to be there. So maybe they're not going to be even one and done guys. So it's just the college basketball movement is here. And now you're really seeing an avalanche of one, now colleges are recruiting heavy to try to get these guys to come over. And two, these guys are now more open to coming overseas to play in the States. So keep watching college basketball.
Yeah, and it'll be someone's bound to emerge over in Europe.
Yes.
Sergio De La Rey seems like the obvious one right now. I believe he's at Valencia this year. He may have switched. Apologies if he did.
He might have switched, and I'm sorry too. He might have. Hugo Corate at France.
Yeah, like there are a couple names over there. There'll probably be someone who comes out of nowhere, like Bilal Coulibaly did. But it kind of seems like a lot of the international talent is over in Australia with the NBL, with Dash Daniels and Ben Henschel could have a big year. Kareem Lopez, Malik Lewis. That kind of seems to be the hub, at least this year, of where to look for it.
Yeah. And there's a couple of names where I think are buzzing, but people are expecting them to probably be like next year guys. So it's just, hey, it's one of those where it's fine. You know, This is the new wave now. It's like, hey, there's so much exposure with college hoops. Like, we're not complaining. I love watching international hoops too, but I'm not complaining about this. And I just think it's we see this with stateside draft classes. We have classes sometimes where like the reset year, you're getting ready for the next push. But I think it's just one of those. It was kind of brewing as some noise behind the scenes. Then you ask around, and people are very emphatic, like, yes, it's a weaker one. It is very weak compared. So, but you can argue and be like, oh, a lot of guys are stateside. It's like, yes, but still, it was not one that was drawing a ton of hype. There wasn't like there's a Victor coming in 2 years. This is one that I think is going to kind of reset everything. Hit me with it, Metcalf. What's your next?
Next up, Florida will not only repeat, but also have at least 5 draft picks.
Oh, yeah. Here we go, baby. All right, let's break them down. So
I'm going to run through some of these names. So
yeah, go for it. Hit me.
Boogie Fland, Xavier Lee, Micah Hangleton, Ruben Chinyelu, Thomas Houck, CJ Ingram, who is the number 21 freshman recruit per ESPN, Alex Condon, AJ Brown, who's a really fun off-ball volume shooter transfer from Ohio. I think they're going to be nasty, and it wouldn't shock me if a lot of these dudes get drafted, not necessarily in the first round, but just period.
I've got a lot of Florida Gators on my preseason database, and I did have me CJ Ingram, so you're gonna be proud of me. Did you have Alex Lloyd? Sorry,
I did. He was not one I mentioned, but
okay, I haven't caught up on everyone, but I'm just making lists and everything. They're gonna be a monster.
Yeah,
they're gonna be a monster. I think Boogie's one of my dark horse. I think he's gonna all of a sudden shock some people and be like really, really good and efficient. And probably look around and be like, I have this much talent. He should be phenomenal in the 2-man game, right?
You'd think so. And I loved how he played last year. I wrote a whole piece about how the process was good, just the end shooting numbers were like historically bad. But it's like if you just cut the clip or the film off right before the shot got to the rim, you'd be like, this was a perfect possession. I think he's super smart, awesome defender, really smart passer, can operate the pick and roll with ease. He just has to be able to, one, make a layup, and two, shoot average, which I think he will do because he also had the hand injury in the middle of the year. So
I just like Thomas Houck and Boogie and Condon. It just seems like Boogie should have a field day, and then I feel like people are going to overlook Xavier Lee edition, and he's going to be so good for them. They just got a wagon, and I like some of these pieces that aren't drawing as much buzz. You've mentioned AJ Brown to me before, huh? I feel like you've kind of slipped him in conversations randomly in the pod to see if I'm like still listening. I'm like, yeah, I know.
yeah, so
I recognize you mentioning him.
So like last year with Ohio, true shooting percentage of 61.9. He doesn't pass. So,
I love those guys.
Don't worry about the 7.8 assist rate because who cares? He's about buckets.
He's about buckets. The game is always and will always be about buckets.
But 2.7 steal rate, 56.6% on from 2, and then 38.8% on 10 3-point attempts per 100 possessions. So good volume there. I'm fine. I'm fine with that efficiency. He's listed at 6'4". I think Florida's site might have him at 6'5", but
yeah,
in that kind of range.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a backcourt of him, Boogie, Xavier. If Xavier can put up numbers anything like what he was doing at Princeton the last 2 years, now he's doing it in the SEC. I think now we're talking about potential late first round.
Yeah.
So last year at Princeton, BPM of 5.9, usage of 29.3. The shooting and the scoring were a little inconsistent with efficiency, but true shooting of 54.7, defensive rebounding rate of 20.2, assist rate of 37.3 with a turnover rate of just 13.6. And now he gets to run a pick and roll with Alex Condon, Thomas Houck, Micah Hangleton, and Ruben Chinyelu. And I believe Todd Golden came out and said that he's planning on playing 3 of those bigs together a lot. So I think they're going to be an absolute wagon this year, and produce a ton of NBA talent.
I agree with you. Also, I'm a big believer of additional exposure always creates some more buzz. I think they're going to be playing very late into the years. So,
yeah.
Whether I agree with it, I've watched it happen with the draft. I watched those guys climb up rankings because of the late runs. Not that I agree with it. Okay. Let me give you. I'm going to say, I don't even know if this is crazy, but here we go. Duke has 6 players drafted in the first round. Which sounds insane to say, and then you start thinking about it, and you're like, "This could happen."
Yeah. So
What's yours?
I'll give you.
Give your Duke one.
I'll give you mine. We did not talk about this beforehand, but this is my third one. This was my last one. And in parentheses, I have on my outline. I don't believe in it, but Duke will only have one first rounder.
Oh, I could see both sides too. This is fun. All right. So why do you only believe you have it parentheses? You don't believe in it?
Yeah,
That's
I
like
do not believe in that.
hilarious.
It's a hot take. It's a bold prediction. I 1000% do not believe in it. I have
I
multiple
have
Duke
one.
players in my
Okay.
first round right now.
I have one coming up, but yeah, that's great. Because like you never know. I weirdly could see it on your side too. But my thinking was Boozer, Dame
Lock.
Sar, Kaminia. That's three that I feel pretty good about. Isaiah Evans, Pat Ngongba, which I'm like, I keep hearing rumblings. Is he healthy or not? I really like him if he's healthy. The one I get struggling on is Caden Boozer. I know there's some people out there that love Caden Boozer. I just don't know if I'm seeing him as a lock first one and done guy. I think he's going to be a really smart player and really important to Duke, but I don't know if I'm there of like he's a top 20 pick. Which if he's not, he should go back for another year.
All right, here's my case.
Okay.
Again, that I do not believe in. I cannot stress this enough. Cam Boozer, lock. There's the one. All right, Caden Boozer can't shoot. It's just not there, and he just looks like a really solid.
No, this is
college
good.
guard.
I'll do this with you. Yeah, let's do this. Because
And
I think all these guys realistic. Go ahead.
and we saw it this entire last year with the draft, where it's like, do I want to be a fringe first rounder if the feedback I'm getting is 45 to 60? Do I want to just take a shot and go to the league, or do I want to get $1 million from Duke and go back and improve and work on my game while still getting paid and be a star on campus? Isaiah Evans, again, I think he's a lottery guy right now for me. But maybe that fire and passion that he plays with that I love takes a turn, and now it's negative and it's a bad thing, and he's in foul trouble all the time, and the shot isn't falling like I think it will, and now he's shooting 28% on a ton of volume and not passing and not creating for himself. Nicholas Kamenia, I love him as a connecting piece, but again, what if NBA teams are like, fringe first round, because we have questions about the on-ball creation and the athleticism and the lack of wiggle. Same case for Caden, where it's like you're an awesome player, but does being that fringe first rounder make more sense than just going back to Duke and getting $1 million or whatever the paycheck is? Dame Sar, shot looks like a disaster. Game's too fast for him. Needs another year to adjust to the speed and actually just get playing reps. Pat Ngongba can't stay healthy. Caleb Foster, maybe just a solid college guard. Darren Harris, still not getting playing time. So it also won't shock me if all those guys got drafted. But I think there's more than a 1% chance that things take a turn.
Harris is the one that I continue to be like, I'm not giving up any real stock there. I still believe he could be a little bit of a shocker. You know what's great? I don't disagree with any of that. I really think there's a path. There's wild paths with both of these, with all of these guys. Like the Gongba's, the health thing is a real scare, but when he's on the court, he's unbelievable.
So much fun last year.
There was a point last year where I was like, I think the best big man prospect is not going to get drafted this year for Duke. I thought Pat healthy just because of the playmaking, the feel like I was like, I think he might be very underrated. It was not Malawatch hate. Everyone calm down. Caden, I'm not sold on one and done because of the exact reasons you said. Like, if he's projected late first round, go back?
Yeah,
make some more money and go back and get better and get drafted in lottery.
Like, do you think he'll be better this year than what? And this isn't meant as a shot at him or anything like that, but do you think he'll have a better season or get better feedback than LeBaron Philon, than Todd Pettiford, than Boogie, than they all got last year?
No. Caden just seems like a big sophomore leap guy to me.
Yeah.
He seems like a guy that might be like 8, 5, and 5. inefficient, and they don't need him to score a ton because of how much firepower they got. And he might have 15, 5, and 6. I'm just saying Caden seems like a guy that has a really good game that just needs time to blossom, and like, don't rush it. And I don't think he's going to have a game or a year where it's like, hey, he didn't produce, but my goodness, I would swing on the upside. I just feel like it's one of those, like,
he knows how to play. Like, his IQ and
yes,
feel is through the roof, but he's super passive as a scorer. I don't buy the shot, unfortunately. And it's not like he's this overwhelming athlete
yeah.
or anything like that. So it's like, all right, well, it's a tough sales pitch for a lead guard in today's NBA.
He reminds me of like TJ
Yeah.
McConnell, a bigger TJ McConnell.
Now you're stealing
who
my
played
comps.
4 years at
Jesus.
Arizona. Oh, I was going to give you credit of that. I was like, I think that was
Yeah, sure you were.
So and I also think he reminds me of Malcolm Brogdon. Both those guys played multiple years in college.
Yeah.
So, and they didn't have incentives to go back besides trying to get better. So, the Isaiah Evan one really is serious to me, because if he's not shooting it, if he's not shooting cover off the ball, I think he will. But like, I feel like I've seen pictures and his frame looks pretty similar. So he needs to show me a little bit more than that. Kaminia,
I love that dude.
Kaminia was my favorite guy at Nike Hoop Summit, and I feel like he's had the coldest stock in the history of the world since then. Like, I feel like
I thought he was awful at FIBA.
Yeah, so I could see Kaminia being like, oh, there's the sophomore breakout guy. Like, it's just, that's why the preseason is so fun, folks. We do this and we're all of a sudden like, but also I'll just get this out there. I'm secretly not convinced on Dame Sarr. I'm not there. I think a lot of No Ceilings people are very excited, and I've been like, I've not gotten to that part of the, well, I don't know where this analogy goes, but I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid. I'm not in the deep end yet. I'm still in the shallow end and terrified of, sharks in the deep end or something.
I want to talk Kaminia real quick, though. Isaiah Evans, I love these numbers. It's basically, if he touched the ball, he was shooting it. Assist rate of 6.4. Yeah.
Can I be honest with you?
He took,
I don't mean to cut you off.
18.1 threes per 100 possessions.
How many did you cut? You cut out for a second, and I really want to hear the number.
18.1.
Run that by me one more time. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he only got 32% of the available minutes, he took 18.1 threes per 100 possessions. Sorry, those numbers.
No, I want to ask you, because I really like him. Do you think there's more to unlock? Like, do you think he's got more to his game, or is he going to be a specialist plus? You know what I'm trying to say?
I think he's a 3-and-D guy. I think the next level for him is on the defensive end.
And then you're hoping eventually he develops like a little wiggle to get like
a little bit, a little more than just catch and shoot stuff. Like, I think he's fine with movement stuff, but I don't trust the decision making, the on-ball creation. Like, who knows what it looks like as we go into the season, but over the last 2 years, nothing in his game makes me want to give him the ball and be like, all right, run this possession.
Here's a hypothetical. You're an NBA coach and you just drafted Isaiah Evans, and you have to pick someone to be like, watch his game. You're going to lock him in a locker room to be like, you have to watch his game, and this is who I want you to try to be. Who would you pick?
On offense, Duncan Robinson.
Interesting. Defense? I was trying to think of a way to get to Jaden McDaniels saying not stretched out Jaden McDaniels, but I was also like, Jaden's got way more offensive wiggle than people realized.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good one. I like him a lot. I feel like that's the one that could also really break out. And we're talking like opening month. Hey, is Isaiah Evans in the lottery? One of those. Like, he just had 25 on, 5 of 6 from deep. It's looking really good.
I think he's like the prime candidate for like that old Clay tracker of 30 points on 4 dribbles.
Yeah,
And
that's where I feel like
-4 passes. Let's talk Kamenia.
4 passes. Yeah, talk to me about Kamenia.
I'm bummed because
Really bummed.
I loved him at Hoop Summit. I thought he was awesome. FIBA was a disaster. And I thought that was the kind of setting that he would continue to thrive in. And maybe it's just coach's decision and lineup construction and all that kind of stuff. And he just was the odd man out. But even like the high school stuff, I think is super underwhelming. Like he's not playing Montverde and Columbus and Prolific, and he's at Harvard Westlake playing California public schools. And I don't think there's any wiggle there. I don't think there's really any on-ball creation there. I worry about the athleticism. I love the motor. I love the spot-up shooting. I love the play finishing, the rebounding, the passing. I think he's an awesome complementary player. I don't know where that goes, though. So I'm going to need to see the shooting really take an uptick. I think he's going to be a really good complementary piece to this Duke team who sets up everyone and keeps the ball moving and makes the right decision and does the right things. But after Hoops on, I'm like, this is a top 10 guy. And now I'm like, top 25, maybe.
I thought after Hoop Summit, he was going to be my darling, like top 7.
Yeah.
He was awesome. And it's not me just being like blinders. I thought he was one of the best players that whole week. We talked to a couple scouts there. They were like, he's an absolute pro.
Yeah.
Problem is when you get that, you say, well, is that this year or next year?
Right.
Here's the guy that didn't go pro. He was a freshman, 13, 6.5 boards, 2 assists, 1.5 steals on 47, 44, 81. And this is reminding me maybe this is going to be Kamenia. Who do you think that was?
What year?
College, 2008, 2009.
Is that Shane Battier?
No, that was Gordon Hayward.
Okay. Because he's white.
100%. I only get the white on white for purpose. I just get that. I get that vibe from Kamenia where it's like, hey, he might have a year where he averages 13 a game and shoots 40% from 3, but you're like, it's not. You're taking it out of the oven too soon. You got to let it sit a little bit more.
Just like, I want more.
Yeah, and then the following year, he's like, we're talking about him as a top 5 pick. There's the breakout coming. You know, Kamenia is going to be. It's going to be weird.
Yeah.
I complete just like, woof. I don't know what to do with him right now because I put him high because I'm like, what I saw in person was so impressive. But I'm also like, it could be one of those guys you put early and you quickly are like, all right, well, I had him at 6. He's at 18. You know, after a month. And then you're like, we're looking like a next year guy. Or he also might be a guy that just starts to find the groove in the middle of the season. He's a tough one, Metcalf. I don't, because I watched some high school stuff too, and I agree with you. You're just kind of like, okay, fine. But then you're like, God, she looks so good the whole week at practice. Like what? So I don't know. And FIBA is always tough because you either look fantastic or it's just not your setting.
Yeah. But like I thought that was
his skills should be his setting.
Yeah, like as that complimentary piece to Michael and AJ and Cam, like I thought that was gonna be like perfect for him to just fit in and elevate all those guys, and he just barely played. It's like, woof. Also, real quick, I know Shane Battier was way before 2008. I just heard not in the last couple of years, and just already had the Shane Battier.
I do it all the time.
So
I do it all the time. I always am like, wait, what? I say it out loud. I'm like, he was 5 years before that. What are you thinking?
It's like, oh, you weren't even close, you moron. Anything else with Duke?
No.
Do you want to tear apart Damisar and ruin his dreams? And
it's not that. It's just I feel about Dame that I think the way you're starting to feel about Kamenia, where I was like, when I was watching him, I was like, I don't know if he's ready to be a one and done.
Yeah. No, I think that's legit. He's still very raw.
He seems like if he is, you're getting him at 18 and you're pretty pumped about the upside and being patient. But if you're taking him at 11, you're like, okay. But you know what I'm trying to say? He seems like a team that's probably willing to be more patient. I just had too many questions. I thought his frame was awesome. Like, I think
Yeah.
he looks like he could be a problem. But just the rest of the game, I was like, a lot of flashes and he's just still more of an idea guy to me right now. Now, I'm still going to go back and probably watch a lot of his international stuff. Need to get caught up on that. So maybe I watch a bit more and I'm like, oh my gosh,
Well, the
what was I
Barcelona
thinking?
film will take you about a minute and a half to get through.
But didn't he
So,
just play for Italy and something? Was he with
yeah,
Italy for FIBA?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I just haven't caught up on the FIBA stuff. So, um, yeah,
The shot needs a big leap. I really buy the work ethic and like the intangibles with that kid. I think he is gonna if he doesn't make it, I don't think it's gonna be for a lack of trying. Um, but like the physical tools, the frame, the mental tools, I think there's a lot to be excited about. But the shot needs a lot of work, and the game needs to slow down a little mentally for him.
that's where I'm at. Is I'm intrigued with him because of
Well,
all of the intangibles,
he
but
needs to play.
there's so many areas of his game where I'm like, if one of these falls off, it's like a car with raggedy wheels. It's like, well, if one falls off, you're screwed. So I feel like with Dame's trajectory, I'm kind of like, I've seen a lot of guys with this same setup that it's like you can either swing each way quickly. Now he has the intangibles, check, which is like, okay, that's a big thing to help you out if you have the work ethic and everything. But if the shot's a mess, if the game's too fast, if he has turnovers, you're like, this gets ugly fast. And I think he'll be fine. I think the expectations for him early on need to calm down.
Yeah.
At Duke, I think you're just wanting to get his feet wet. As I'm saying this, I think they play Texas one of the first games of the year. He'll probably have 25 and 8. But shout out real quick to college basketball for giving us some powerhouse matchups
Yeah.
early in the year for once. It's nice that I don't have to wait 2 months before a ranked game. So
You
yeah,
didn't love those Duke Manhattan matchups?
I actually did because it was like a confidence builder. All the mega prospects would go out and have like 35 and 12, and you'd be like, yeah, they're going to be cocky now. Here we go. It's going to be fun. So, yeah, what was the last year? Was it Baylor and Gonzaga? And it was just like a massacre.
Yeah.
Like, turn it off. I don't want to watch VJ struggle anymore. Turn it off. Do I have one more, Metcalf?
Yeah, I'm out. So that Duke one was my last one. So what do you got?
What's spicy? Okay, why not? Let's just get nuts after your one Duke player
that I did not believe in.
Nate Ament goes out of the top 10.
I
wanted to go lower, but I don't have the guts to do it right now. I was going to say out of the lottery. I have a couple other. If you're not feeling that one, I can go.
No, we can talk, Ament.
Well, we did a pod on Shout Out Locked On. We did a pod on that one, and I feel like when we ended it, I turned to you and I was like, I feel disgusting because I need to talk to you about Nate Ament for like an hour and a half. It's a great show, though. I'm struggling. I'm really struggling. You just had a piece on Nate Ament as you plugged in the beginning, but for the psychos that fast forward that part, NoCeilingsNBA.com. Metcalf has a new man on campus. He just did Nate Ament, and I thought you hit that one out of the park because it echoes every concern I've had watching him. I'm trying. I just see a scary world and not a fun scary.
I think there's a lot to be excited about. The length, I think there's some really fun passing stuff with him. Really by the shot. I'm not sure he can create anything on ball. I think his handle is fine. I'm actually generally encouraged by how frequently he keeps it alive through contact and in traffic. I think he has good composure, keeps his head up in those situations too. But he can't turn the corner. He can't separate. He can't move guys. So he's kind of stuck in this weird zone of not being fast enough and then not being strong enough and just endlessly chucking up really heavily contested mid-range pull-ups against mediocre college competition. And if he's struggling that much against those guys, I'm like, oh man, how is he going to get to the rim in the SEC? How is he going to create space in the SEC, let alone the NBA? So I think I still really like him as like an off ball third option on offense, who can attack closeouts, who can punish teams spotting up and make that extra pass. But if we're talking top five, I need some on ball equity, and I'm not seeing any of that with him, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't have him close to my top 5. I I agree with everything you're saying. The on ball juice is lacking. Um, I think he's going to get ripped apart with the SEC's strengths because it's just the frame is so tall and thin, and his lower body's thin, and he's just you see high schooler guys that are bigger, a little bit more physically mature that give him problems. He's going to bully guards and mismatches when he can because of his size, but you get the 6'7" junior that's just a dog defensively and is ripped. They're going to be like, I can take Nate Ament because it's just the feet are. He's got cinder blocks for feet. He takes a while to get going. I feel like it's like premeditated moves sometimes. Now there's some good stuff. There's a lot of good foundation. I don't want to just sound negative. I'm just saying like top 5 in this class is really loud. And I watch him and I'm like, would not right now. I would be very scared of him going up in competition with this frame. 2, going then to the NBA in that frame. Like I'm with you. I feel like he's more of a complementary piece that you're hoping matures, develops. But you've thrown Patrick Baldwin, you've thrown Michael Porter to me, and I'm like, that's where we're on the right path. I think you're not, trying to think that he's tall and shoots 3, so he's Kevin Durant automatically. But hypothetical.
Yeah.
Here we go. I'm an owner of an NBA team, and your contract's up, and we just gave you a 2-year extension. You need a forward really bad.
Okay.
Nate Ament and Yoxel are on the board.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. Is
where
like
are we picking?
10.
Yeah, probably go Ament.
Okay. I gave you a 1-year extension, but
I'm trading it.
It's such a. People are going to be like, that's not close because you go potential and untapped upside. But it's like, I want Ament to be more like Yoxel. And Yoxel plays physical. I have playmaking. I have defense. I'm not sold with Ament on any of that right now.
Yeah, so I don't think I don't think it's a toughness issue. Like, I'm not worried about him getting bullied mentally.
No. Yes, toughness.
He just physically
I'm saying
can't
strength.
do anything.
Yes, physically he can't. And I'm sorry. Thank you for correcting me. Like, whenever I say toughness, I'm not saying like, oh, he's not a tough kid. I think it's just his frame doesn't allow it right now, and guys can bully him. Like, I must have watched a different game. I thought the game against AJ. I was like, oh,
yeah.
I left that game like AJ's really good. It's just like because AJ defensively was just doing some stuff.
He was insane that game. And I mean, to Ament's credit, he still ended up with like 25, but it was on like 7 of 19 shooting or something. And I think most of his best looks came in like spot up situations or when AJ wasn't on him. But like, if you're getting talked about in top 5, AJ's your peer.
Yeah,
that's the guy that you have to go against. And I thought AJ bullied him that game.
Wait, and Ament had a great game against Darren Peterson, but
he looked very good.
Darren didn't guard him.
Yeah.
I've asked around. I'm like, hey, am I crazy? And scouts like, no, you're not crazy. Like, he's a tough one. He's really like one scout said, like, reminds me of Bazelis. And the way he said it was, you might never leave a game saying Ament was the best player on the court. But he's good, and he could be a really nice piece alongside. And it wasn't like slander to Bazelis. He's like, I just have the same vibes of Bazelis when I was watching. Like, I watched Bazelis a bunch, and I was like, he's really talented. He's got some stuff to his game. He's got potential. But like in high school, I never left the game where I was like, he is clear by far the best player in this game with a ton of top prospects. So I don't know. He's just a tough one for me right now because I'm like him going to the SEC, going to Tennessee. I just feel like there's a lot of doors that are like, it could get ugly here. And that's where I start, like you said to start the show, that's where I start my freshman. All right, I'm worried.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried about how quickly this is going to hit. Could he shock me? Like, absolutely. But it's just my personal preference. We always say this. I'm hoping to be wrong.
Always. Anything else?
No, I rambled too far on that. Shout out Rocky Top. Any other vibes, thoughts, fun ones you didn't mention?
Well, I mean, 'tis the season, so I think it's about time.
Out of nowhere.
We're not gonna open up the club yet, but I think the line is starting to generate for the No Ceilings Green Room, the most exclusive club in the basketball world. I sprung this on you. I did not tell you that we were doing
This is
today.
awesome. Made my week.
For those of you who are new, no more than 14 guys get in. It is not our lottery rankings. It is based on vibes, production, upside, talent, vibes, a lot of vibes.
Vibes.
We only put the line can go as long or as short as we need. If you're injured, you're automatically booted. Sorry. Especially if you have a boot on. We don't allow those in the club. But we're not going to open up the club today. We're not putting anyone in the green room, but I wanted to start constructing the line, getting guys prepped, ready to go. Typically, we only put one in the club at a time. We can add as many to the line as we want. I'm just going to be a little bold here and throw Darren Peterson in line. Objections?
That's good. For
Cam Boozer?
Yeah, Cam Boozer. For everyone
AJ?
Listening, because Metcalf's throwing this on spot, one, we have a new little overlay there for the green room. We're going to have a bunch of fun stuff for all the segments this year. So get pumped up. We've been having talks this whole off season. We've got some stuff working, graphics, overlays, fun stuff. We're probably going to make it its own YouTube video segment. So everyone's been complimenting, the stock game and green room. They love it. We have big plans this year. So we'll have some announcements, but this is a nice surprise. I like this. So the top three we've got in line.
I got Michael in line.
Michael's in line. Help you. Who do you feel the best about next to be in line?
I'm not sure there is anyone.
I'm going to say Koa Pete. I feel
okay.
weirdly good about Koa. You don't, so we
can put him in line. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't watched enough.
I just feel
good. This is going to piss you off. His FIBA stuff kind of reminded me of Almanza's FIBA stuff.
No! No, why would you do that?
The year that
I have to go watch every game.
The year that
3 a.m.
I'm saying the year that Almanza was incredibly dominant for Spain, but I kind of got some similar vibes.
I'm gonna get off the group chat because I think Corey's starting to tell me he likes Koa Pete. So I'm gonna be like, "Did you hear what Metcalf said?"
It's not a. I have so much more to watch. So
okay, kill him. I'm quoting a movie, folks. I'm quoting Dumb and Dumber.
And I'm saying when Almanza, I'm comparing him to the performance that had some people putting Almanza at one.
Some
that
I remember firmly. Give me a name.
Boy. Jaden Quaintance.
Oh.
I'm just throwing out names. I'm not attached to any of these.
I'm not sold on Jaden.
Neither am I.
Great things.
Bennett Sturts.
Yeah, get Bennett in line. I'm gonna throw another white guy because that's what we're doing today. Apparently, Braylon Mullins. Have you watched him yet?
Not yet.
All right, I'm gonna text you every day at 9 a.m. Oh yeah, now you can schedule text. So I'm gonna just schedule it for next month. Have you watched Braylon? Dude, you're gonna be like, oh gosh.
I'm just gonna apologize now that I'm inevitably gonna call him Byron Mullins all year. So I'm sorry in advance. It's not intentional. Just my dumb brain.
Lord Byron. I don't know who else to put preseason. Yaxel? Go blue?
Yeah, I was just going to suggest the Axel.
I haven't watched Caleb Wilson yet, but
Not yet. Yeah,
I really want him to be good because I'll make so many memes of Wilson.
Can I throw Paul McNeil in line?
You can throw anyone you want, man. It's September. We got NFL football on today. There's love in the air. Paul McNeil. You've been hyping
I'm going to throw Christian Anderson in line.
Okay.
He had an insane FIBA showing. And I think he's going to have a big year for Tech. I really, really like him. I feel like we have to have one of the reigning national champions in line.
Yeah. Hauk?
I would lean Hauk. He's highest on my board.
Hauk. I know last year when I asked scouts around about Condon, my clapback was he's not even the best big on the roster.
Yeah.
He's not even the best prospect on the team. And they were saying like Hauk, or like everyone's drooling over him.
Yeah. Let's just do one more.
One more.
Keep it a little exclusive. Do we need to throw Kareem Lopez in there just so we have a single international representative or no?
Yeah, because I think there's a chance he's the only international guy this year. Wow, what a shift in the green room.
Yeah. Times are
what
changing.
If he's the only one? Do we have to maybe we'll talk about this. We'll debrief, but maybe we have to have a rule of like, do we have to have one international guy in the green room at all times or in line? That'd be funny, but it's a bad year to have that rule.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
People are going to be shocked we didn't say Tunde, but I'm okay with Tunde out right now because we're going to.
He's close.
Talk about him a lot.
He's still getting ready.
Yeah, Phylon, Sanak. I just wait and see mode.
All right,
that's it.
I'm excited for this year. Should be a fun one. We got conference previews coming up on this channel in the next couple weeks. I believe we have Big Ten next week. We'll start grinding those out and getting you guys familiar with top incoming freshmen, top returners, some of our favorite teams who we like to dominate or win the conferences. Big Ten next week. We've had a whole bunch of stuff going up over on the Locked On feed. Rucker and I have been doing the position previews. This week was point guard, shooting guards. Next week, small forwards, power forwards. And again, really, really, really fun collaboration going on with a major college basketball centric platform. Keep an eye out on socials for that. But until then, he is Tyler Rucker. You can follow him at Tyler_Rucker. I am Tyler Metcalf. You can follow me at TMetcalf11. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff. Till next time, see you.